Hey everyone, welcome back to Chaitaku and welcome to this brand new phase where I'm going to be starting to do video recording now. There's the cameras there, the camera's on, you can see me. This is going to be a brand new style for the show. I'm just testing it out. I'm going to see if it works in this format. I do want to move more into video recording and YouTube, but this video is a nice big test to see if I can actually do it, see if everything works. We had a couple of issues earlier, but to see if it's all going to go ahead for YouTube. So this is actually going to be the very first video that goes onto the YouTube channel. So welcome everyone. If you're a long time listener, thank you so much for joining us. This is the Chaitaku chai, chill and chat phase, all right, where I'm just chilling, got my chai, and we're chatting, and we got first time guest here today, Alon, who's going to be joining us. Say hello, Alon.
Hello, Alon.
Alon is a good friend of mine, known him for many, many years. Hasn't been on the show yet, but I thought what better way to start live doing it on the camera. And Alon's also looking into doing something to do online. So this will be a really good opportunity for him to see how it all works. We had a couple of issues before, but that's how it is, isn't it? But hopefully it's all working fine now. Right, so this is our brand new formula, chai, chill and chat. We're going to be chatting. We're going to be chilling. We've got chai here and we've got PlayStation. We're going to be playing some games for that as well. We're going to go with the flow and see how it all rolls. Right, Alon, tell us a little bit about yourself. So me and Alon go back quite a bit actually. Good friend of John, who's been on the show many, many times on the podcast. Alon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm not sure where to start.
First of all, what are you drinking, by the way?
I'm drinking, I think, is it coconut and...
Nice.
Mango? No, it's not mango.
Coconut and pineapple, pina colada style, because it's nice and warm today. And I've got some nice hot tea as well, because that's what I like to drink, even when I'm sweating. Yeah, me and Alan go back a long way, actually. John, I think, introduced us, right?
Yeah.
I think it's, John.
John, when he was in uni. So when he would tell me stories about people that he used to go to uni with. And I think he mentioned Rishi at that time. And Rishi was one of the Asian people, so I kind of like look forward to meeting someone out there.
We had not many actually going around, but that was good actually. And not only that, but just like I think we just hit it off straight away because I think you're interested in so many of the same stuff as well, which is always good. And yeah, we just took it from there. I think, and I think
our movie together.
Yeah, that's another show. Now we're going to be talking about that. How everything influenced us. But yeah, I remember, and I think we were a lot into our films and comics. And I was just talking to Alan on the way here, actually. Orange Wednesdays, I remember very well. We used to go like all the time. We used to smash out like 2 or 3 movies all the time. And it's like just our love for like films and like 80s stuff and 90s stuff and action films and martial arts and comics. And we're just going to be talking a little bit about that actually, because Alan's very knowledgeable in that kind of stuff. And actually, you have a lot of. I know he's gonna pick it on the down low. But he was just talking about, you've got so many DVDs and things here. But I know Alan has as well, actually. Alan's got quite a lot as well. And it's good because that's our passion and love for all of it. And we're going to be chatting. I told Alan specifically to talk about DC because I'm a big fan of DC, obviously. And I'm going to talk about a couple of the films. And obviously, Blue Beetle just come out. And we're debating on whether or not to watch it at the moment. But I thought it'd be an interesting topic, especially the recent DC films as well. We'll talk about DC, we'll talk about Street Fighter. We're going to be playing Street Fighter as well, so I'll be intercutting this with our video game playing, and then we'll take it from there. So, right, Alan's like me in the sense that we love video games, comics, movies. We love loads of 80s stuff, 90s stuff. And I told Alan to watch the DC stuff because we're a big fan of DC. And I wanted to specifically talk about a couple of the DC movies that have come out in the last 10 years, because I think it's quite an important phase for DC because it's gone under new ownership now as well. I think it's James Gunn now.
Oh, he's going to be directing the new Justice League?
The new Superman he's going to be doing. So he's taken over DC. And he might, I don't know, can we talk and play at the same time? I don't know if it's working, so we might have to just leave this for a bit. Let's have a quick bash at this and see. All right, so Hadouken. There you go. I thought, you know what? Let me play and chat, but I think I can't multitask right now. I'm keeping on the timer as well. We're just running back and forth on the moment, so we might have to leave this. But hey, it was a good idea though.
trying to do a dragon punch.
Dragon
It's not
Punch,
coming out.
boom, boom, boom,
And then
like that.
you play one. No, you usually play on the play one side. If player two is a bit more difficult.
That's the one.
How do you get a fire one out?
That down, forward, square. Old school street, playing Street Fighter 2. But yeah, man, it's just like, I think we're being a bit too polite, actually. We're not actually fighting each other. Come on, let's go for it. We've been way too gentlemanly over here. We're not there to go.
I don't wish you an expert. I don't want to get beaten up.
No, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be playing.
You can't get perfect now.
No, yeah, you go for it. Go for it. Right, should we go? Just go proper battle. Let's go. That's it. First attack gun.
I stay on the play one side.
So you're the orange one and the pink one.
But yeah, DC movies. I've always liked DC movies. From as a kid, I found a picture of myself, my brother and my sister, and I'm wearing a Superman top.
Oh, nice.
So that's when I realized I mean I've always watched Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
At that time, and I didn't really see any Marvel movies at that time, so I can't remember much of them. But I had a comic of Superman as well. Batman, my cousins used to get like the pirate version of it, so we used to watch the first one with Michael Keaton, but I couldn't actually see it because it was so dark. I'm like, what am I watching? And everybody else is like, yeah, this is such a brilliant movie. I can't see anything. What's going on in this movie? Yeah. But they were like loving it, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I should enjoy it. But I think when it came on TV a couple of years later, I started enjoying it. Superman, then you had Supergirl on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Me and my sister used to watch. My brother was a bit too young at that time.
Yeah. Those were the days, actually. I think that's when we all got into it. I think it's the late 80s, early 90s with like Michael Keaton and then, that Batman phase of the 90s, like Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman Robin.
I love that.
We're fans of that one, actually. Come on, you gotta appreciate that. It's a hilariously good comedy movie. I can't really hate
exactly.
it.
It's a comedy. It got to that point where it's from a serious movie to comic. It's like the Rocky movies done that at one point as well, where it was too serious, then it became more comical.
Yeah.
The Batman ones, I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people didn't like the characters, but I saw it was very serious. The first one was too serious for me.
Yeah.
Too dark. But then when I saw the comical, because I grew up also watching Batman, the Adam West one.
Yeah.
So that was funny, and then you had like the BAMs, or whatever, all these different symbols going on TV, and it was funny for me as well.
Yeah. Exactly. That comedy aspect of it as well. That was a really silly show as well, wasn't it? It wasn't supposed to be taken seriously, but yeah, we used to like that. Same with like Spider-Man as well when I was a kid, and the cartoon of Batman in the 90s, the animated show was really great. That's how I got into it as well. And I remember watching Michael Keaton's Batman when I was a kid. I didn't really get it because it was like adult and kind of darkish, but it was really good. But I think afterwards, it kind of got a little bit more like family friendly and more childish, like Batman and Forever and Batman and Robin. Like they got really kiddish. Some people don't like it, but actually that was catered for like for younger kids as well. I used to love that as well. And Superman, I remember loving as a kid as well, like the Christopher Reeve one. I don't think I've seen Supergirl in a long time, but I know it's not like the best film, but Supergirl. But I used to grow up, watching these DC films as well. And the New Adventures of Superman on TV, if you remember that one.
Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark one, yeah.
I love
one. That came out in the 90s. So there's a lot of stuff in the 90s, even like The Flash as well. There was a 90s Flash show. Do you remember that one?
I saw that one.
And that was good for what it is. I know they do a whole new like TV shows of Flash and Green Arrow and stuff. I don't know if you've seen any.
Yeah. I've watched Green Arrow. I've watched Flash, Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, right. So
Supergirl.
Okay, yeah. So I've missed out on those actually. I know some of them are supposed to be really good, but I never really got into them. I watched a bit of Gotham when it used to come on, which was all right. Which was like, it's what is it? Is it Bruce Wayne as a kid, isn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't get into that because it wasn't actually Batman.
Yeah. They're trying to, and then obviously now with DC, there's like so many things going on. Like as I said earlier, you've got like James Gunn who's taken over, and James Gunn obviously is from Marvel. He does the Guardians of the Galaxy films. He did direct the last Suicide Squad movie as well. Which did you see? I liked as well.
We watched it together, didn't we?
I think we did.
The John Cena one.
Yeah, we watched it. Did we? I forgot it. It was such a long time ago. And then so he's trying to revamp it. He's done the Peacemaker show as well, which I haven't seen yet. But he's trying to revamp it. So why is he revamping it? Because DC is like it's a bit of a mess at the moment, actually, in the last couple of years. So we had a big shift. In 2013, Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder were going to be doing the whole universe of DC stuff. And we started it off in 2013 with Man of Steel. When I talk about Man of Steel, because we watched it together, I remember, and it was like Nolan was doing Christian Bale's Batman and was huge. So they said, right, we need to start a new universe because Marvel was doing lots of, I think the Avengers had come out around about that time. And so Marvel was on the whole universe. And then like DC was like, we need to do one as well. So they started off with Man of Steel with a process and a timeline to get all these other superheroes together to do it. And Man of Steel came out. We watched it together actually. When I first watched it, I hated it.
I loved it.
I know. I remember coming out of the cinema. It was me, Alan, and John, and we came out of the cinema, and you guys had a smile on your face because you enjoyed it, and I was like, "No, I hated it. Why did I hate it?" I'm looking back at it now because for me, if I grew up on Christopher Reeve Superman, who's really like colorful and bright and positive, and Man of Steel was a very bleak film. It's like really bleak, really dark, and it's very depressing. So for me, I was like, where's my Superman that's going to help everyone and be positive? Why is Man of Steel so dark, depressing? What's going on? Why is it so grim? I didn't like it at first, but it's only a few years later, which is what I normally do. Alan knows me. When I first watch a film, I hate it. And then when I watched it a few years later, I was like, this is amazing. He's like, I told you so. I think with the Star Wars prequels as well. I was like, no. But then afterwards, I don't know what happened. I guess I'm mature and I grow up and I understand. And I watched Man of Steel ages ago now again, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite films now. I absolutely loved it. And it's the complete flip side because what I like about the Zack Snyder DC films with Man of Steel, it's less positive because it's more about real world stuff. It's like the world isn't happy and it's not like positive and you're going to get stuff at you. It's hard, it's challenging. And then there's this alien who's come down and he's really trying his best. And you've got society on his case, you've got people in his case, and it's all hatred and anger, and he's trying to be a really good person in that. Is that what I guess you must have got that from day one?
I know the way I saw it is like me and John, we usually go with very low expectations for movies. Right. So anything is great. So we've seen so many movies over the years that when we rewatch them when you're older, you're like, this is terrible, but it's funny. So Man of Steel and like a lot of the movies at that era, I think, like you said, it was early 2013. Yeah, so around that time, we were watching all these movies. They were terrible, but they were funny and they were great. With Man of Steel, it's because I was playing the game, what was it called? Mortal Kombat versus DC on PlayStation. So when I saw the action fights and everything and all the buildings breaking, it was like the game.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I liked it.
That's why, again, when I watched it again, I think that's the first time we've seen Superman at extreme power levels.
Yeah, that's Christopher Reeve. When I watched Christopher Reeve, I like the movie, but then it's also like you said, it's very colorful and it's different. Yeah, it didn't have the technology back then to do what Superman can really do. If Superman or any of those DC characters came into this world, they are going to be ultra powerful. Just probably just touch a door, it's going to explode or something like it's just going to break. But that's what Man of Steel.
This one, because they're like gods on Earth, and it's like Dragon Ball Z or something, isn't it? Where everything's being blown up, and it was the first time we saw like how powerful Superman was as well, like on Earth, and we didn't really get to see that with the Superman, with the old ones, isn't it? It was just like he would fly around and he would like turn back time or like be indestructible. But this one we saw like buildings, cities like being leveled. And I love the sci-fi aspect of it as well. Like you probably saw Krypton for the first time.
The origin at the proper scene. Like in the original Superman, it wasn't like that. But when you see it in this one, you're like, the technology is there. They have the proper technology.
For me, it's like going into Superman for the first time because obviously you watch these Christopher Reeve ones, but I didn't really understand a lot of the mythology and the lore too much. But when I saw this one, I was like, you know what, this is a brand new perspective. Like we see like motivations of his home planet. You see like Zod, and we see all these other characters as well, and we see his family. And I like that it's him becoming Superman. Well, it's like early days still, like him struggling with this concept of like being in this world and struggling with his powers. And then you got like Kevin Costner as his dad, who's like wicked. And I like the fact that the world isn't all positive because like it's really like grounded in the sense that if there was like someone who come from a different planet and you had at this power level, there'll be people hating him for that. They'll be like, "What? No, this is dangerous. No, we don't like this. This is wrong. They'll be persecuting him, and that's what I like. Oh yeah, actually, if there was like someone who is that strong and powerful, they'd hate him. They would hate him. They wouldn't be like, yeah, you got some people that like, yeah, he's a hero. But I like the fact that, you know what, people were really against him. They were like would protest against him. I like the fact that he got a lot of like news clippings and like even like podcasting things going, yeah, this man is dangerous. We can't have him here. We don't know. He might change. He could kill all of us. And I liked all of that. And it's just Clark like, look, I'm just like a regular.
I'm just trying to fit in.
Trying to do the right thing. And every time he does the right thing, something goes wrong. And it seems like struggling with that concept. And for me personally, like I was going through like a really dark period when I watched it again, when things were going wrong in my life and I wasn't at my best. And just to watch that and like him overcoming all this stuff and really struggling, but really still trying to be like the proper like role model and like a positive person, like with all this stuff going on. I thought that was awesome, like just really inspiring. And by the end of it, like even him struggling to like kill Zod as well. And he's like really like he's literally pretty much nearly dies, like trying to defeat him to save a planet that actually hates him. But I thought, yeah, this is deep stuff, and that's why I like this one because yeah, it's proper, yeah, grounded and realistic. And I know people wanted like when I first watched it, I was like, I wanted it more fun and like lighthearted, but like this is really deep. But actually, I really appreciate it now. Marvel was doing all the fun, light-hearted stuff back then, isn't it? But this was a real like flip side to it, and I loved it actually.
We have to understand this because we watched Christopher Reeve, then we watched Lois and Clark, they were like really positive. And like even though Lois and Clark was done a certain way, but it's still like in a bright setting. But with Man of Steel, Zack Snyder, and because also don't forget we watched Immortals. And then when we saw Immortals, and you saw what's his name. Henry Cavill doing all of that in Immortals. That's what I like. He was doing all of the moves, everything like it would be. I'm not saying that there are gods out there that if they come here, they're going to be like that. They might be a younger planet than we are. But the way that he was talking about Earth being a young planet, so we don't experience these kind of like super people. If they came here, they would be like gods on Earth. And they're going to be easily walking through walls. Walking through here, they can jump from one space to another. We expect that from.
It's a real like visually epic, wasn't it? It's like it went from different planets and then to Earth and then like Metropolis, and it was like a big like even like battles in there as well. Like
because the main battle I enjoyed in Man of Steel was when he was a kid. It's like he doesn't know what to do. Something that is not just super people would feel that kind of thing. It's like even as a kid, when you're growing up. It's like you have strength, but you're also being told to keep it back. It's like you can't expose the world. You can't do this. You have to be a certain way. Your parents are telling you to be quiet or something like that. But you know that you can destroy this kid. You, but you don't want to. But then you end up crying or you're feeling like upset. But then you're holding it in. But it's just like him. He had to deal with that.
That's exactly what I loved about it. And then his dad, Jonathan, saying, don't show your powers, and then even like he sacrifices him. Like spoiler alert, also always spoiler alert. You must think it's now, so we always talk about it. But that bit where he's like in that whirlwind hurricane, and Jonathan's like put his hands up, like that iconic scene. I know people make fun out of it now, but I thought that was amazing because like no, he's gonna sacrifice himself just so he doesn't show everyone the powers.
I got annoyed with that because I'm like, it's so fast. You should just go quick and say like save him. Why are you saving the dog? Your dad is more important. But then I know it's a sacrifice. But still, he needs a dad.
He could have done it.
When you look at society, a lot of the kids are having problems. They don't have a father figure. But then he did have a good mother figure. So Diane Lane.
Exactly. And then he had Jor-El as well in the hologram, isn't it? Russell Crowe. But it just deals with all these things. And I've not seen that in the Superman film before. I haven't seen Superman like, okay, you're having to deal with this concept of who he is, where he's come from, all his powers, and then like in a society which is like, even these days, it's a tough world out there. There's a lot of anger, hate, prejudice, racism, all of this stuff, and he's gonna get that because he literally is an immigrant, superpower levels. No one can understand it, and people are gonna hate it, and that's exactly what we would get right now as well. If someone was like that was on this planet, you get like some people will support him, a lot of people hating him for that, and I like that it delved into that. So
it's the trust issue. That's why I got annoyed with the army when they're talking about, we can't control him. But why do you want to control him? He's on the good side. You're acting like you're predicting that he's going to change. But like he says, I've been on Earth so many years. I haven't done anything. Why are you acting like I'm going to turn on you
Yeah.
when I'm trying to protect you? And he's protecting them. So eventually, when you see the action scene, it's like they realize, oh, he's actually helping us. So why are we trying to send a missile on him?
That's it, yeah, and that's
but
what I like, because that's what the Americans would do anyway. The American government, because they, of course, they're always going to be not going to trust people, and they want to be in control, and they want to, and they're going to be like that, and that's what I like, because obviously they want to be top dog.
Yeah, anyone that is different to them, they just want to attack. But then you're like, this is your American. He's grown up, like you said, in Kansas, and he's not done anything.
Yeah.
He's grown up American, and you're still treating him like that.
That's why I like it. And we've not seen that with Superman before, and that's why I like, because it's just real world politics in that. And then at the end, he does become a hero. But there's still a bit of untrustworthiness in there as well, because they still don't know, and it leads us into the next
that
one.
is actually a good thing. You can't 100% trust somebody, so that means you respect him. Like if you trust him completely, you try and control him. So say that, for example, I think that's what they're trying to do in the Marvel movies at one point, where Iron Man goes, yeah, we all have to give in to the council.
Oh, that's the Civil War, isn't it? That's what happened.
But then I'm like, no, but you can't do that, because Superman is Superman. You try and control him, he's going to get angry and just turn on you, which is probably what they started thinking later on in Justice League. Going to happen to him. But then you're also forcing his hand by doing that. You're making him feel uncomfortable, and he's trying to help you. Like, stop this. Get on with him. He's helping you. He saved you. Even the one thing I did get annoyed about the ending was when he's got Zod. I'm guessing everyone's seen it. Like you said,
it's fine.
He's got Zod. He's got Zod, and Zod's doing the laser at that family, and I'm like, so you're making a decision like you're gonna kill Zod or the family, but for some reason, maybe it was just at that time I was thinking like an evil way. But I was like, just let the family die, but take him in and just like deal with him, punish him. Because this is like the easy way out. You can't like finish him. But this family, the thing that annoyed me most is they had every chance to get out.
They can die around. They can die around.
Chance, but you're just like, at least send your kid. All right, the mom and dad died.
They could have gone round. Yeah, there was a bit of space. It's like Titanic, right? Where
I haven't seen it. No, don't tell me.
Titanic.
I know what it's about. I know what about it.
Titanic. Oh my gosh,
No, I know what about it, because that's why I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm not going to say anyway, but there's a bit on Titanic where he could have easily done something, but then the director James Cameron said, but that wouldn't make it exciting. that was too easy. You got to put some emotional weight in there for us as a film. I was like, yeah, fine, I get it. So he could have. This family could have run around and been, they could have saved themselves. But I think as a film, you have to have a moment in there, a choice the character has to make for progression. It's like, do I kill Zod? Do the family die? I think, and it helped the character. He saved the family, but he had to kill Zod. And I thought, okay, fine, because he doesn't want to kill anyone, because he's a good-hearted bloke. He has to kill someone. That's why when he finally kills him, it's like he's really distraught by it, and he does that scream. It's like, that's fine, because it's the first time he's ever killed someone, and it had to happen. Where, you know what, Superman doesn't like killing, but if it has to, it was good that that was in there. You have to do it. Like Batman is what they say.
The right thing.
If you want to be a hero, you don't want to kill people, but it has to be done sometimes in extreme circumstances. And that's what the character progression was. But I absolutely loved it. And I think every time I rewatch it, I watched it the other day, it gets better and better for me. I'm a huge fan of it. Massive fan of Henry Cavill, which I'm so annoyed about, because they had to get rid of him with this new DC lineup that's going on. He was one of the best things about the.
He looked like Superman. After Christopher Reeve, it's like you want someone that actually looks that way, that has that body. Christopher Reeve at that time was big, but we don't know how muscly he was. But when you look at Henry Cavill,
he trained for it hard. You can tell he looked the part, he acted the part, and actually genuinely, as a real life, obviously I don't know him personally, I wish I did, but all the interviews, he just comes across as a really nice bloke that understands, and he's a big geek as well, and he's just friendly, kind-hearted, professional, especially when they went back. So it's been such a ride for him, because like, oh yeah, you're back as Superman. Oh no, you're not. Oh yeah, you're back, because in Black Adam, he's back, and then oh no, he's not. And then, but he's been so professional about the whole thing. I really wish they did more with him, because he was fantastic. He really was. But let's see who the new Superman's going to be now. But I think he's my Superman. I know I grew up with Christopher Reeve, and that's fine. I like Christopher Reeve, but Henry Cavill's my Superman. Day one, he always my favorite Superman. Just like you got your favorite Batman. My favorite Batman is. I was gonna say I love Michael Keaton. I also love Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he's amazing. I actually really dig in Robert Pattinson as well.
Yeah,
I think he's
I like that one.
I
Why did
think he's
everybody like that?
exactly,
I love
because
that movie.
he's just like so left field. Everyone was cussing him up, and I was like, nah, give him a chance because this boy can act. If you've seen his other films, and he's great as well. But when I say I like Ben Affleck's Batman, people are like, what? Nah, you gotta be Bale, and it's Bale's
No,
Bale.
no, but the thing is, people don't realize. It's like when I rewatched the trilogy, was it Nolan's trilogy,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then I realized, yeah, but it's the age. The whole point of Ben Affleck's Batman is he's after
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
trilogy and he's playing that
The
role.
older
So
one, yeah.
people are probably thinking, oh no, but he should be younger. He should be like this. He should be like
No.
no, he shouldn't because he's playing it after. So he's already been through so much. Now he's like, all right, I'm seeing this guy coming into my world. He could destroy me. So he's having that fear that yeah, it could happen. So that's why I don't know why people don't really
Yeah,
like
I think because he was older, but I think because he was more aggressive. But that in Batman and Superman, he's older, and it's like if you read the comics, it's Dark Knight Returns where he's become jaded and a bit psychotic.
Yeah.
So that's why he's like killing people left, right, and center. I know Batman doesn't kill people, but he's like had enough. And I like that Superman because Batman because Batman, he's got a code, he doesn't kill anyone. He tries to help the police. He tries to be more positive. But this Batman, Ben Affleck was relentless. Like he's brutal. He's brutal. Like he's like burning people. Drug dealers. Like he doesn't really care with the police because he knows the police ain't going to do anything. Yeah, he was awesome. And he looked good, and the voice, he bulked up for it. I thought it was brilliant. But I know a lot of people are like, no, I thought it was great as it. Only in Batman vs Superman and the 4 hour Justice League cut. When they made him into a jokey character in the theatrical Justice League or the Flash one, nah, that's not the Batman I want to see. I want to see like this dark, gritty one as well. But we'll get on to that. Anyway, who's your favorite Batman?
I like a lot of them, but it has to be Bale because when I watched Batman Begins, then I watched the Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises again. All these, it's just I love that one. I can always watch that over and over again.
And
the bad guys he had with him, even what's his name?
Bane.
Bane, I loved.
And then
I think people did not like Bane, and I'm like, no, I love
it. Good.
It's funny, and it's also it's like you had the Bane in the other movie that was silent. He didn't do much, but it was with Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
But then it's like this is another Bane. It's like more political, but it's just like the story behind it. Like you're talking about Man of Steel. It's like the background story, what's going on in the real world, but it's also comic.
And
it's also just like ridiculous, but it's also like, this guy could actually happen. There are warlords like this that are doing this kind of thing. What is the world going to do to stop it? Nothing. So what do we have to rely on? A vigilante. We've got Superman, but he wasn't in that world, in that multiverse. But then it's like, who do we have to rely on? It has to be Batman. And Batman had to sacrifice himself in the second one because Harvey Dent is an idiot and he just gave in to the Joker. But then Batman sacrifices himself. So what do we have to do in this world? It's like we're given all these choices in the world, but it's for the better good.
It's very grounded and realistic and very like it's got a lot of politics in there. Like it's Batman, but it's not a kid's film. It's like a political thriller. Those Nolan ones, like there's a lot of like courtroom drama, thriller. There's a lot of like there's a lot of deep stuff in it. It's a great trilogy. Like, I haven't seen them for a long time, but I'm gonna revisit them. But Nolan did Man of Steel as well. He helped with Man of Steel because at some point they wanted to cross it over. But I like Nolan's trilogy as like a separate thing. It's great, and I like that the Snyder ones was like similar in a sense, but more fantastical because they had like aliens and like monsters and stuff like that. And like Nolan's Batman was very grounded and wasn't really fantastical, but it's very realistic. Like I like that. He's a billionaire. He's got the funding to get the car and everything. It's like it just shows like a realistic portrayal of Batman, which is always good as well. But that's really cool as well. I need to see those again actually. But that's Man of Steel. Love it. 10 out of 10 for me. And we watch it every year. When I'm feeling down, I'll watch this, and it will really perk me up because it's just a great hopeful film. Like people say, it's too dark. It's too grim. It's bleak. It's not hopeful. This is one of the most hopeful films ever because he's got everything against it.
It's got no hope.
No.
This symbol is
hope. There you go. It's hope. All right, and that's when I said I really wish they did a Man of Steel 2. I was reading an article this morning about all these cancelled DC projects that never got done, but Man of Steel 2, because at the end of it he becomes Clark Kent. He gets his job at the Daily Planet, and then from there it was supposed to be Man of Steel 2, but unfortunately because DC was trying to catch up with Marvel, and Marvel already had their first Avengers by then with all the characters, they wanted to do like a team up movie. So then straight away they went into Batman versus Superman, which is like trying to be like Avengers. Now, I will like I love this film. I love it. I also think it's messed up a lot.
The theatrical, the one in the cinema
Yeah,
was messed up.
yeah. This is the ultimate edition. If you ever watch it, watch the ultimate because this is the director's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't watch. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because the theatrical one is a mess once again. But this ultimate edition is the director's cut. Watch that one. Now I think it's great, but I also think they made a couple of decisions in there which didn't work in my favor. I'll talk about them in a second. But yeah, basically straight after Man of Steel, you've got Batman vs Superman, where people once again, yeah, they're on Superman's side because he's a goodie, but also untrustworthy. They distrust him because of he's an alien and his power
control him. The government want to control him.
Exactly, the government want to control him, and the public are like, I don't know. Yeah, we can't trust him. And then you've got Lex Luthor coming in, who is spurring on that hate. Like he's twisting a lot of like the media, saying, yeah, no, this is a bad dude. Like you can't trust him. We need to get rid of him. And he's like spurning the media. There's a lot of like news clippings in there, like podcastings in there. Like, yeah, you cannot trust this guy. And Lex Luthor's the mastermind and all of it, which I was talking about this the other day. Like he gets a lot of hate, Lex Luthor, because of the actor, Jesse Eisenberg. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Like
I thought you hated it.
No.
Because he's that kind of guy where you hate, but you also know he's a good actor, but you also know what he's doing.
I thought it was great. It's such a hilarious, unexpected turn. I was like, what, him? Because I remember watching him in like teen comedies, right? But then he's great because he's manipulative, he's snarky, he is clever, he is really like wants to turn things like his way, control it. That's exactly what Lex Luthor
what he's doing to Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So he orchestrates this, the media to be against Superman. Then Batman's already like an older Batman. He's jaded, he's angry, and then he's seeing that battle with Zod, that Superman is a very dangerous person. He's like, we got to stop him because he's like world destroyer. And then Lex Luthor's orchestrating all of it. It's like a political thriller. There's a lot of courtroom stuff in there, a lot of like, real world like society, talking about what would happen, what's going on if you'd had a vigilante who isn't really like 100% by everyone, because obviously the cops don't usually like him, Batman, because he's a vigilante and he's not doing what they're supposed to be. And then the public are like, yeah, he's like a bit scared of him, not trustworthy. He's the hero, and then everyone hates him. And then they orchestrate a fight. I thought it's a good film, but like I think they'd make a couple of decisions, and I think they rushed too much into it because Avengers were already out at that point. They wanted a big team up movie straight away. So instead of just doing another Man of Steel, where it's just Superman by himself, they're bringing in Batman, they're bringing in Wonder Woman, they're bringing in, you get to see Justice League in there for a little bit. There's a little clip of it. So I think they do too much in there.
The Flash and
all that is in there, yeah. And then you got Wonder Woman coming in as well. I think they tried to cram too much in there. And on top of that, you're doing the Death of Superman story as well, which movie 2, like movie 1 set Superman up, movie 2, kill him off. I was like, what? I watched it in the cinema and people were screaming and shouting when Superman died. They couldn't understand why the second film in they killed him off. Like, I wasn't happy with that. Like, you don't just kill him off straight. Second film and you kill him off. With Darkseid as well coming in. That's a very famous comic book story. It was like huge when it came out in 1993, The Death of Superman. It was a big deal. And they want to do it in the second film. Like, at least wait a couple of films before you kill Superman off. Don't kill off the second film. Yeah, I get the sacrifice that had to be made, and it was big impactful, but I just didn't like the fact that they put Darkseid in there and they killed Superman off. I think that's one of the things I didn't like. That why? It should have been a team-up film.
But he didn't die. It's like he didn't die.
He didn't die.
But it's that last thing when you see that with Stone or something like rise up. He's not dead. But it's like everybody is. I can understand if we were watching it from your point of view, where he's dying. But then because I saw that bit, I'm like, I'm hopeful. I felt that hope. But it's like
I just think the notion of getting rid of him. It's like he was my favorite, and I was like, no, because I knew what they were doing. Yeah, and I was like, why did you do that now though? But that's. I don't blame Zack Snyder for it. I blame Warner Brothers because they were like, Marvel on their 10th film now. You got to do something quick. Like, right, bring all the Justice League and do this. And it's like, no, man, they're just forcing it. I think Warner Brothers is like one of the company that are really instrumental in these Marvel movies going crazy. and bad because they just do this, but they're very controlling. So that's what I guess.
Sony or Warner Brothers?
It's Warner Brothers.
Oh,
Warner Brothers are very
who's the one that was causing all the problems with Henry Cavill? That is
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Warner
Okay.
Brothers. Yeah, because
I've been blaming Sony.
Sony.
Sorry, Sony.
Yeah. Sony are like doing their own horrible stuff with Spider-Man.
This Spider-Man.
Venom.
Yeah.
No, they're controlling, but no, Warner Brothers owns DC. So whatever DC film comes along, Warner Brothers is like controlling them. Like, no, you can't do this, you can't do this, you have to do this, you have to do that.
Yeah, because there were so many arguments before this movie was even made. That's why they had the theatrical cut, which was not complete. It just felt incomplete. When I watched the 3 hour version, as soon as the Blu-ray came out, I watched it straight when I was like, it's 3 hours, how am I going to watch? But I enjoyed it more. Oh, this is missing, it explains more. Because people said to me that weren't actual DC fans, when I watched it, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why did I watch it for this long? And then when I said, no, watch the 3 hour version, it explains this gap. When people told me the gap, I'm like, oh, okay, when you watch it in this movie, it explains it a bit more. It explains it a bit more. I understand this. Watch this one. Then they watch the other version and realize, oh, it makes more sense, but it's a long movie.
Yeah.
But all of this could have been avoided.
It's much better received, actually. I think over the years, people are warming to it a bit more now. I know it got a big backlash. It was like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Like, people hated it when it came out. It was very divisive, very controversial, because like it was getting a lot of hate. But I thought, no, I watched the theatrical. I thought it's all right, but you know. But then when I watched the Ultimate Edition, I thought, oh yeah, this is good. This is really good. And I think people are going to love it more. But Ben Affleck was amazing. Well, Gal Gadot, she's good with Wonder Woman. She could have been better, but she's good Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman, the movie they done after that was all right, but then they did 84.
I haven't seen that.
That's terrible. And that's one of the reasons why DC's flopping at the moment, because that was a mess of a film. But Henry Cavill, again, I absolutely love him. And I think everyone does it as well. And I think, and you get to see a bit of the Justice League in there as well, which is good. But yeah, it's good. It's good. But I just wish it was better received because this, well, actually, let me say, this movie didn't make that much money, as much money as I thought it would. So it didn't do great. And critically, it was like divisive. And then this one, I think it made a bit of money, but again, it was critically like panned, which I'm really sad about. But and that's what started like DC like going off on different tangents and stuff. I thought it was all right. Do you like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
And then after this one, and then Warner Brothers was like, we've got to change this up now because these movies are not doing well. And then Marvel are doing really well with their comedy and then their light stuff. So then they started to make Justice League. Now, Justice League originally was supposed to be 2 movies, Justice League Part 1, Justice League Part 2. But then halfway through, fortunately, I think the director, Zack Snyder, had a tragedy in his family, so he had to drop out. And then Warner Brothers was like, we've got to make this like Marvel now. So what they did was they edited it, shortened it.
Joss Whedon's
one, yeah. And then they put like reshot with more comedy, with humor, more color. Superman they reshot scenes with Henry Cavill. He was shooting Mission Impossible, so he had a moustache. So then he's like digitally, he had digital like it. That theatrical Justice League when it came out, awful.
I liked it because it was all in one go, but I know what you mean. It was terrible.
It's just so like different. You see these and like and then you got that Justice League, which is like it's a comedy film. It's like it's like an early Marvel film. It's like you can tell they changed so much of it. They took
you can tell it was Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
movie. It was a Marvel movie that was DC.
And they made it comedy like for kids. Like Batman's cracking jokes. So like, what is going on? It's like. I watched that and my heart sank. I was like, what is this, man? This is terrible. Like, loads of kids like, yeah, this is like the cartoon, Justice League cartoon. I was like, no, but it doesn't fit in like with these ones.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And then, so that one came out and then I hated it. And then thankfully all the fans, the Snyder fans, was like, we've got to release the director's cut. Zack Snyder, come on, get the director's cut of Justice League because we want to see it. And then after like years and years and years of fan campaigning, Zack Snyder went and his original cut of
during the lockdown. I think he had so much time. Everybody had so much time.
He reshot stuff and then he brought out unedited 4 hours, and this is the Justice League we should have gotten. And it came out during lockdown, isn't it? Yeah, so we watched it. This is a freaking masterpiece, man. I love this one, and this is the God tier trilogy, man. This goes so well. All 3 of them fit in 4 hours, but it fits in like. You understand like the story with Man of Steel, it finishes off. everything links together story-wise, and it's like it's great. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I watched the second half, the second disc last
Yeah,
night,
yeah,
and I loved it. I mean, even when I watched it at the beginning, I was like, I want to see this kind of movie. It's dark, it makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything is done in the right way.
It's an
And
epic, man. It's like Lord of the Rings, right? You got like battles, you got like all the Justice League there, like Jason Momoa, Aquaman, awesome. Flash, he's all right. Flash, love Cyborg in there. And then you've even got like Martian Manhunter in there, and coming in at the end. And Green Lantern was supposed to be in it. This went through a lot of production issues, but I think when they came out with it, I think it's fantastic. Now, this is a
Dark Side. You get
Dark
to see
Side, yeah.
Oh,
That
the movie is Dark Side. In this one, I mean, in the other Justice League, you did not see him as much. In this one, you're seeing Dark Side. Even towards the end, you see him like at the end. You see more of Dark Side.
Yeah.
That is the whole point. I want to see Dark Side.
And this it sets up a fantastic start. Now, this is what upsets me because it's part one, and it's at the end they set up Dark Side's army coming to Earth, and then we don't get to see any. We will never get to see anything because that was it. You didn't get to finish it off after that. So it's like a setup film because this part two was supposed to be made and it won't ever come out, I don't think. And it's an absolute shame actually because it's such a awesome epic, man.
It's like Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Oh yeah. They
got to set up and
the
next season. When's the next season?
They set it up and then, but you know what? I'm so like it's such a great ending because at the end you see the Justice League headquarters and all the members are there and they're setting up their big table and Green Lantern was supposed to come in. And then Martian Manhunter, and you got the Justice League. So if you've ever watched the cartoon or the comics, Justice League like that, it sets up that these guys are the team is set.
The tables there.
Yeah. It's like then they're gonna be like the next would have been the like Avengers movies. They'll all go on fighting Darkseid and fighting Apocalypse and all that. But we never got to see it. And then after that, Zack Snyder left, and then that's when they started bringing out all these messy ones. Like Wonder Woman was a good one. Zack Snyder was still involved. It was a good startup. Aquaman was all right as well.
Aquaman,
it was decent. It was a good start. But then after that, everything started going a bit messy. So Zack Snyder was out. They were still wanted to retain some of his stuff that was doing, but they wanted to start something new. So then that's when they started to do like they did Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is so this is DCEU. That's the multiverse. But then his Batman is not part of it. And Nolan's Batman is not part of it. And the Joker film, even, it's a separate thing. And those were great films. Joker.
Joker. I like the movie, but it disturbed me because it was too real. I mean, like the DCEU was real and a lot of action, but the Joker movie.
I loved it.
Did I watch that with you?
I was going to watch it with you, but I think I couldn't make it.
That one disturbed me because it made me realize a lot of the people that I knew, and it's like psychologically like scarring where you could end up if your life isn't going a certain way, where so many bad things are happening in your life and you're not dealing with it in the right way. But I was like, I love the movie, I love the actor, I love him the Gladiator and everything. He's brilliant. He was like a brilliant bad guy in the Gladiator. It's like I love to hate him, but when I watched the Joker, I'm like something about that it disturbed me.
I loved it.
It's a great movie, but it's just like one of those ones where I'm like, oh my god, it's too real.
It's too real,
It's too real.
I like that put that part in, but that stance on Joker because Joker's always a wild card. But actually, you know what? Yeah, he's got mental health going through when society. Again, I know it's set in the 80s, but it's like a lot of the stuff going on right now. Like he's persecuted, like bullied, and I like that. And it was a good take on Joker, and I love the fact that he overcomes everything at the end and. You kind of sympathize with him a little bit as well, which is like it's different for Joker because Joker's like crazy psychotic character, but this was like, oh yeah, he's justified. I know people were like, no, because people were like worried about copycat crimes and stuff. Like, you can't like. But if you approach it sensibly, I thought it was awesome that one, and it was a good take on the character, better than the Suicide Squad. I forgot.
He's in this one. He's in this.
Jared Leto. I've got a Suicide Squad. Now, Suicide Squad is another one which was meddled by the studio. So this is the theatrical cut, which has only ever come out. There's a proper extended director's version with much better, but Warner Brothers won't fix it. So this one I liked, but I could tell things were missing from it. I know it's not the full version. What did you think of Suicide Squad?
I don't like it as much when I first watched it. But then when I watched it later on, I liked it again. But I think the problem was it's because I'm expecting like superheroes. I'm watching
the bad guys. The villains.
It was like, I'm not too sure about that.
Then,
I liked obviously Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, everyone loves Harley Quinn. I thought Deadshot was good. Will Smith. Captain Boomerang. Joker is the one that everyone's a bit.
Because it's just a different take.
Yeah,
It's just like
it's
one thing I
very
have to understand is
different.
all these different Jokers I've grown up watching. It's just like they're different. Then you had was Jack Nicholson, completely different to Heath Ledger, completely different to Jared Leto, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just
yeah, yeah.
everyone's completely different.
Yeah,
Joaquin
yeah.
Phoenix is like they're completely different.
They all
Jokers,
bring their own to it. This one was, he's all right, yeah, actually, but I can tell why people don't like him. But yeah, so
He's
this,
just a pretty boy from Fight Club getting beat
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Like,
I know.
it could be like
American
jealousy,
Psycho,
but just like no, but just
yeah,
accept him. So he's good looking.
yeah.
Really.
And I know he says extended cut on the D, but that's not the true director's version. So there's a big campaign to get the real version out there because they cut out so much from it. But this didn't do well either. So this is what again DC were like, we got to start shaping up. Now Harley Quinn was great because she did her own movie, the Harley Quinn one. I can't remember, Birds of Prey. Wonder Woman was successful. She did her own movie. Aquaman, everyone liked, did her own movie. But they were all right, but you could tell things were changing. And after this, they did Shazam. The first one was kind of funny. Actually.
I like the first one. Yeah,
He was all right. And eventually, all these were supposed to meet together, but then Warner Brothers started to like, no, we need to reboot everything. And then Black Adam come out last year.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like
I liked it. It was fun, but I could see there was meddling involved. I could tell Black Adam was supposed to be part. It's supposed to be part of this universe, right? And Black Adam and Shazam are like more enemies than Superman. I could tell they wanted them fit them all in.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers said no to Shazam, no to Superman, because I don't know, for some reason they just don't like Henry Cavill, because Henry Cavill was supposed to be in Shazam. He goes at the end, but he was supposed to be, because the iconic characters in is Black Adam, Superman, Shazam. They're always beefing. And they're extreme power levels. So they're always.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see a fight between all these three. And bless him, Dwayne Johnson was like really trying to push it, but he wasn't having it. So I was really disappointed because I wanted to see these three guys go at it, but it didn't happen. And Black Adam unfortunately didn't do very well either. So Dwayne Johnson was trying to produce everything, and like he was like involved, but
the way I saw Black Adam was that it was like a masculine superhero. A lot of these superheroes that they've gone a certain way, and I'm like I like the reason I like Thor, it's like he's become that Thor became too funny, or like no, he's good in the second Thor, no, the third Thor. Was it Ragnarok? Ragnarok was great, but then the one after that is just like too jokey. But then with Black Adam, it's like, I don't care who you are, I'm just gonna end.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is Black Adam is a villain, obviously, but then I don't know if this is The Rock, Warner Brothers, but they try to make him into a good guy, like an anti-hero. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, but Black Adam is a villain. Right? I always wanted to see that, but fine, he could be a bad guy.
Then turn into
perspective. Yeah.
The thing is, like, to us people that support Joker's the hero.
Yeah.
So it's just everyone's
perspective. Yeah, true. But I could tell there was meddling involved because I wanted to see Superman and Shazam in that movie, and they didn't. And then Shazam come out, which was great. Shazam 2, which again could have had Black Adam in it and Superman, but it was nothing. Shazam 2, did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
It's pointless. It's just a side story with forgettable villains. I was like, you're supposed to have Shazam and Black Adam fighting, because that's the icon. It's like Shazam and Black Adam are like Joker and Batman, right? They are always fighting, and I never got to see it. I don't think I ever will, because I think Dwayne Johnson's done with DC now.
They booted both of them out, didn't they? Because
I think Shazam maybe.
But The Rock got Henry Cavill to come back, and then we're all talking about he's going to come back. But another Man of Steel. Yeah. But then suddenly he goes, he's not coming back. Yeah. And then Rock is like, all right, I'm not going to come back. As well. And
then Warner Brothers, that's like they stopped it. They're being very selective who they carry on. So I think Ben Affleck's done.
He should have got his own movie.
And he was supposed to.
I'm so annoyed. Yeah. He was meant to get his own movie.
He was supposed to have his
own Then he said, all right, I'm not going to be in the movie. I'm just going to direct it. And then I don't know what the studio done, but then they annoyed him so much that, all right, I'm not part of it at all. I'm not going to be in anything. And then he just walked out.
Yeah.
But it's like he had his own movie he was going to direct and star in. And then he said, all right, I'm just going to direct it. You lot do whoever you want to get. And then they just kicked him out. I'm like, what is going on? You wanted to see him.
Such a shame that, because he was supposed to be his Batman movie and didn't get to do it. And they did the Robin Pattinson one, which is fine. You can have multiple Batmans, because the Flash movie, we haven't got to that one yet, has multiple Batmans in there, and Ben Affleck's still in it. But the Flash was probably the last of that DC era. Like, I think they
Is it Aquaman going to be joining into it?
Oh
or
yeah, I
separate?
think so. I think the next act. The thing is, like, they're rebooting DC, but they're keeping Jason Momoa for now. They're keeping Wonder Woman for now. I think they're getting rid of. If the Flash was successful, they would have kept Ezra Miller, but I don't
I
think
know, but
it
he's
did.
got his own problems.
And he's
Isn't
got
he?
his own
He's going
problems as
around like
well.
hitting people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's
So
he's
there's
a
another
hero.
thing. So then, because of that, and then the Flash movie flopped, I don't think they're going to carry on with him. So yeah, they're going to reboot DC, but they're keeping a couple of the old DC characters, which does not make much sense to me because if they're going to get a new Superman and Cyborg, this actor Ray Fisher, I rate him.
Yeah, I like him.
Because he actually called out Warner Brothers on their nonsense, and then Warner Brothers blacklisted him. So he was like, "Nope, I'm fighting Warner Brothers to the end. This is what they were doing. This is how they're treating everyone." And because he called out Warner Brothers, like he wasn't even in the Flash. He was in the Flash originally. They cut him out because they're Warner Brothers.
Because he told us about Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
What's going on in
Yeah.
Justice League when Zack Snyder was taken away.
Yeah. So
And then Gal Gadot also said it as well.
Yeah,
I don't think she got blacklisted, but obviously they're going to blacklist.
No.
Black
Yeah, well, there you go. So he actually did suffer a lot of racism there as well. So thankfully for him for pointing out, but yeah, that's why he wasn't in the Flash, or any. You haven't seen him since actually. And even with Henry Cavill, I don't know what the issue is because if you watch the Flash,
the movie,
yeah, and he shot scenes for the Flash, but then they cut him out, all of it, and all he saw was some CG version of him, like really quickly.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like, man, like it's just a complete mess. So it's a bit annoying, but yeah, they're moving forwards with DC. They're rebooting it. James Gunn is now rebooting it. So they've got a new Superman coming. They're gonna do the Batman with Robert Pattinson, but they're gonna have a new Batman because they're gonna do a Justice League, like a new team. I don't know about Wonder Woman. I think she'll carry on. Aquaman. Now he's on the edge because he also wants to play another DC character.
Oh, he was at the end.
Yeah. And then that's where it's left off. So you got the Flash, which is like the multiverse film. That was like the final era. I know you got the Aquaman movie coming out, and you got Blue Beetle coming out now, which is the Blue Beetle is like the start of the next phase, I think.
Yeah.
Of DC, where he's like he's going to start off the new era, even though it's got a little bit connected to this old one. But he's supposed to start the new era like a young kid, isn't it? Now I don't know about that one because after the Flash and Shazam 2, the quality has dropped with these DC films, and I know because of Warner Brothers. Similarly with MCU as well. I haven't seen the last few in the cinema. We used to go all the time in the cinema. Like every single time there was a Marvel movie, we go in day one. Same with DC. But we've like really the quality is dipped after Endgame. The quality is dipped. I don't know whether it's just like too much and the quality is not great and there's just too many rubbish stories. But we don't get excited as we used to anymore.
I mean, Guardians was meant to be good.
Guardians was good. Yeah.
Thor, Love and Thunder. I liked it, but
you can hear my podcast on that one.
I liked it, but then I think it's what I was going through at that time. I needed like a funny movie, but it was probably if I watch it again, I might not like it.
And then the last couple of MCU ones haven't been great, and DC is like, well, we're contemplating whether or not to watch the Blue Beetle one, and if we do watch it, we can come back and we can have a review of it. But that's the new era of DC now. But I just wanted to talk about these old ones because I think especially these three, like, love them, God tier movies, and I think we should get more. If Marvel is like the light-hearted, Marvel does serious stuff as well, but Marvel's more light-hearted. But this is the kind of movies that I love to see, and I like to see it, like not just superhero movies, but like deep in it, and you can chat about a lot of stuff on it and proper, and it's like good, but
there's one thing I do want to mention.
Yeah.
In the Justice League, the one thing I was waiting for, people were talking about. He's going to be a black suit. So at that time, I bought a top, I think like a cheap top from eBay somewhere, and it's like this black Superman top with the silver S on there, symbol of hope. And I was waiting to wear that. So when Justice League came out, I was like,
they changed the blue.
And I was like, and I'm like, wait, was that all a lie? Was these all fake?
No, it was blue.
And then in Justice League, when I saw it, I'm like, I could wear it.
It was supposed to be black from the beginning, right? Because black suit Superman represents resurrection, and you get power. It's just from the comics, and it looks wicked anyway.
Yeah,
look
it looks like sleek.
Yeah, but then like the Joss Whedon theatrical one, they changed the blue. But then thankfully they kept the black one in there because I think he looks amazing in the black one, and it's a wicked suit. But yeah, again, one of the movies we wish we watched in the cinema as well, innit? Like so many movies we missed out on. We all saw that in the cinema, hardly cheering. This would have been so gutted with this. We didn't get to see this. Like and we saw the other one instead. But that's another one there. I wish we watched on the big screen. Like, no, I don't get a chance to see it anyway. I don't think it even showed, did it? I don't think it showed.
It was on Sky on
Yeah.
January 2021, so still during the lockdown. But then I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna have to get it and watch it, because I did like the original Justice, or the first Justice League, Joss Whedon one. One thing I did like, maybe many people might not like it, it's like when he's fighting, not Darkseid, what's the bad guy in that one?
Oh,
I forgot his name right now.
What is his name? Oh, Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, yeah.
Yeah.
He fight the Superman theme.
Yeah.
It made me feel good in some ways because he's punching Steppenwolf, but it's just like it's got that iconic song. The Superman theme is there, and he's punching. I'm like, all right, that made me feel like
the old Superman theme.
Yeah, the old.
So I didn't like that because for me that's Ree. So I like the Man of Steel theme because that's.
I don't know, but it's just at that moment they done it, but it's just like in my mind it just set something off. But it made me like it. But then I can understand later. I did not like that movie because when I watched this one, this is a great version. The other version, I still watch if I want to watch like a crap movie and just have a laugh.
Yeah.
But then I'll be watching this one.
Yeah. I own that one. I don't own that one.
I've got it somewhere. I do have it.
I buy the ones that I like. I didn't buy that one. I saw it in the cinema. I was like, nah. There's some films I refuse to buy. I'm not gonna. I never that one. That was like, no.
But I had to get the series. I didn't know Snyder. Everybody was talking about Snyder Cut for so many years.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, is it going to come out? It's not going to come out. Then I'm just going to get the other one. And you have, well, it's still part of the collection.
Yeah. The thing is, going forwards now with Warner Brothers, they don't acknowledge this one. They only acknowledge that one. And I was like, no, man, like, come on, that's the gem. But unfortunately, that's the one. If you watch DC movies now and they show like clips from the older movies, it's always that version they show because that's the one they want to go for. It's like, no. But yeah, that's our DC raffle, and that leaves us with DC now. I'm looking forward to the future because I'm looking forward to Joker 2. I'm looking forward to the next Batman, Rob Pattinson with you as well. And
I like that. I like the Rob Pattinson as well. I like it. It's proper hardcore rough. Even the first scene was like really scary, but then it was just like a different take on Batman again. Yeah, it's another Batman.
It's another adult, like a thriller, isn't it? Like a drama. It's not for kids either, and I like that one. And I'm looking forward to it. But you've got to. With the DCEU, it's a shame we're gonna miss these guys. I'm gonna miss Henry, man, and Ben Affleck, man, because those guys were like, they did well. I wish they got treated better, and I think they did a couple more movies. Like I said, Ben Affleck's Batman movie would have been good. Henry Cavill's Man of Steel 2 would have been amazing as well. So it's a shame we missed out on that. But you know, that's unfortunately how it is. But yeah, let's see. At the same time, I am like a bit tired of superhero films as well. They've got to be good ones for me to be invested in them. But if they keep churning out the same old trash, like I've seen the last few, I was like, man, like I'm gonna have to stop it. But then they better do something good. We've got to talk about that Suicide Squad movie as well. With Idris Elba and all that lot. I enjoyed that
John Cena one.
Yeah, that was good as well. But yeah, and that's James Gunn. So if he can do that, hopefully he does something cool. I haven't seen Peacemaker, but I'll try to catch it. That leaves us with the future. So hopefully, you know, it's looking good. But thank you very much for that. That was a really good show, man. That's really good, and we will we'll keep a lookout. And if we watch Blue Beetle, we'll decide. You will see us again shortly for our review of it. But it's been good, man. Thank you very much for that. You're great. And I know we were playing Street Fighter earlier. We have to stop it, but
it's hard to multitask.
Yeah, it is. But we'll chat, and we wanted to talk about Street Fighter 1994 version as well with
brilliant movie. Another
which again is a classic that has aged really well. And if you watch it from a perspective of comedy, it's great. And I know I didn't like it when I first saw it, but I love it now. And it's a great film. Just like the Judge Dredd one, the Stallone one. I hated it when it came out.
I loved it,
and I love it now. And it's it's part of history now, and we'll have to revisit it at some point as well. But yeah, we'll do a chat on Street Fighter. We did one with John as well. John was supposed to be here actually, but as you know, if you listen to the podcast, the Mortal Kombat one, he has hurt himself, so you will hear from him, but it won't be on video at the moment. But he wants to do another Street Fighter chat as well, so yeah, we'll definitely hop on that too. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Alan, for joining us. That was awesome.
No, thank you for having me.
No worries at all. And again, you want to connect with Alam on Instagram, I can put your socials down if you want. If not, I'll edit
Yeah, I'll get it.
and I'll link you towards when Alam does his own YouTube and all that kind of stuff as well. I can link it to him as well. But Alam, pleasure to have you here. You'll be a regular as well. Thank you for coming first time and doing it for the first time on our video version. And this is the first video going on the YouTube channel. So please do like and subscribe and bell button and all that kind of stuff. And I'll try to put more of the audio stuff on YouTube channel as well. But see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Give me some comments to see how I could do, what I could do to improve it if you liked it. Your favorite DC movie, your favorite Batman, your favorite Superman. What do you think about the old DCEU? What do you think is going to happen in the future? What are you looking forward to? What do you like? What you don't like? It's all good. All comments are positive or negative, whatever you do. Keep the discussion going. And thank you so much, Alan. We'll see you guys next time. And hopefully you might see us with Blue We'll see. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for listening. Please do like and subscribe and comment, and catch me on Instagram at Chaitaku Cast. You can listen to our old podcast on Anchor. It's not called Anchor anymore. It's called Spotify for podcasters. We're on Spotify as well, Chaitaku. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves.